Hi guys, here we are, and it's been a while since the last review, which was for Wave 18 of Star Trek Attack Wing. As you may know, in the UK we had to wait for 19 and 20 until December due to a shipping problem from the US. So there's probably going to be quite a flurry of about 6 videos now covering the Waves 19 and 20. So that's 6 ships we've got to look at. First of which is this one, which is the Delta Flyer. It is probably one of the smallest retail craft that we've had. I'm just using the one pin to show you this ship because it is extremely small. Just to give you an idea, that's how big one of the captain's tokens is, and that's the size of the ship next to it. So it is literally the length of a captain's token. It's also painted in silver, which seems to be this kind of growing thing that they seem to be doing all the Federation ships in silver from the last few waves. But I have no idea why, because the Delta Flyer should be a white shade rather than this. But it does have the green sections to show the Borg sections and the blue and red highlights for the warp engines. We'll just take that off, see if we can get it any closer and keep it in focus. There we go. So it's not a bad little model, if I'm honest. The detailing is pretty nice on the hull. All the way around. They have actually bothered to go into the effort of actually putting the panel lines on, detailing the nacelles, the cockpit lines, and actually detail-wise not bad. I just wish that they'd done it in a white paint scheme rather than do it in this rather horrid silver paint scheme. But there you go. Beggars can't be choosers. And of course, if you look at it from the money perspective, you're not getting a lot of ship for your $11.99 in the UK. Okay, so let's look at the stats on this one. So she has a 3 for attack, 2 for defense, 2 for hull, and 3 for shield. So not too bad. She does have a rearward firing arc. We've got evade, we've got target lock, and we've got scan as your 3 standard actions. So overall, it's an okay little ship. But it has some fairly decent little upgrades to come with it as well. So let's just scoot her off to the side. Actually, you know what? Let's see if we can try and keep up in this corner while I do this. As we said, the basics of the ship are that 3 in attack, 2, 2, and 3. You get 2 crew slots, a weapon slot, and a tech slot with the 3 features. And this is going to cost you 20 points for your Delta Flyer class shuttlecraft, and the named one being, of course, Delta Flyer. Nice thing with the action is that you can deploy weapon upgrades with a cost of 4 squadron points or less to the ship. And you can fire your primary weapon from your rear firing arc, -1 attack dice. So you can actually fire backwards every round, but only using 2 attack dice rather than 3. So there is a nice little benefit to that. If you are using the generic version, all you're losing is, as you can see, a crew upgrade and also 1 shield. Plus you can't plus you can't actually use that prime weapon from your rear arc if you were just using it as a generic Delta Flyer class shuttlecraft. So there we go. Let's get rid of that one. And let's have a look at the movement. So movement-wise, not particularly quick. She goes up to a 3. There aren't any red manoeuvres, and you do get to use 2 of those 180 turns at 1 and 2, which is going to be really nice. She's a small, very manoeuvrable ship. I mean, incredibly manoeuvrable. You're not going to get any auxiliary power tokens. Plus, you've got a speed of 3, giving you a little bit of flexibility, but you're not going to get out of trouble very quickly. So you're going to get hit pretty badly pretty soon. She does operate with the same rules as shuttlecraft that we covered on the Quark's Treasure review, which if you pop back and have a look at that from will be November now, you'll get an idea on there of exactly how the shuttlecraft works. They can dock with larger craft, which is the case with the good old Delta Flyer here as well. Moving on, your initial options for captain. You do get Captain Generic, who we'll just show there. Look, he looks really happy. Let's get rid of him. And let's talk about the 2 captain options. So we'll talk Tuvok first, because for some reason they put Tuvok in as a captain option here. It costs you 3 points. Captain skill of 5, which is higher than the captain skill that you get with Tom Paris, who really was the pilot and the captain, if you will, of the Delta Flyer for most of the time on Voyager. Tuvok, so the second one I've got. My first came with Voyager, the second with this one. You add 1 tech upgrade to your upgrade bar, and that costs 1 less squadron point. Nice that you're getting a little bonus out of him. He's not giving you any advantage offensively and defensively, especially if you're playing to a points limited game. you may not want to be using Tuvok because all he's going to do is give you an extra slot. The captain's rank here, 5 points, is going to put you sort of mid-table on movement and on attack defense. So it's a bit of a gamble, but I don't see any big advantages with taking Tuvok as a captain. Your other option is Tom Paris, captain skill of 4, so you are losing that point as we noted, and he's costing you 2, so he is 1 less than buying Tuvok. If you reveal a 3 forward manoeuvre, you can perform a 4 forward manoeuvre instead, but it's going to get you those auxiliary power tokens, and it's if it's assigned to a shuttlecraft, you can't do the docking action again, which we covered in the Quark's Treasure review in this round. So it's nice because you're going to be able to give a little bit more power, a little bit more speed to the ship. As you know, it's only able to go 3 forward. You haven't got to discard Tom Paris. You can keep using this option through the game, but you are going to be getting those auxiliary power tokens, which is going to restrict how many actions you're going to be able to perform with the Delta Flyer. And I think that's going to be one of the key things, is that you need to have that kind of flexibility. So yeah, if it's a get you out of trouble move, this is probably the captain to go for, but I think you will want to look at somebody with a higher captain score for your fleet for the Delta Flyer. But yeah, he's a good option. For your crew, there are 3 options. You've got B'Elanna Torres, 7 of 9, and Harry Kim. So Harry Kim is actually the lowest scoring crew option on this one. His action is to be disabled, and you can place 2 evade tokens beside your ship. You don't get to roll any defense dice this round, and you can't perform an evade action that round, even as a free action, because of course the ship, as we can see from the base here, has a defense of 2. So effectively you are giving yourself 2 evades straight away, so you're giving yourself a full 2 defense points without having to roll anything. So I can understand why it's a disable. Nice thing is you can then reuse him during the game, so he's probably quite key to have on here because he is going to fulfill your defense quota straight up. 3 points, not too bad, and you're not going to need to discard him, so that's pretty cool. B'Elanna, when defending during the compare results step, you may disable this card. When defending during the compare results step, you can disable this card and one of your active shields to cancel a damage or a critical damage result. Interesting. Probably good that you could use this in conjunction with the Harry Kim card. So you've got your 2 evades. If somebody's been attacking you with a 3, you can then disable this card and an active shield, cancel whatever, another one of those results. So you can use this to really to be very effective as a sort of defense pairing. You're going to use him as your action, and then when you're comparing the results, you're then going to be able to drop B'Elanna on, I would suspect, to just keep you out of even more trouble. So it's very defensive crew options you've got with those two guys. 4 points and a disable, so that's pretty decent. You're not getting rid of her. It means you can reuse her again in combination with Harry Kim, so you are upping your defense options a lot with those 2 cards on this ship. Finally, we have 7 of 9. Again, second time we've seen B'Elanna and Kim and 7 of 9. During the activation phase, you can disable this card to perform a battle station action as a free action. So you get to have 2 actions with 7 of 9. You can do one that's on the card. But if you notice, battle stations isn't on the card, so you're getting this as a kind of bonus add-on. I'm not a great fan of these. Why they didn't just put it on the ship in the first place, I'm not sure. You don't even, well, you've got to disable 7 for this one to use it. It does mean that some of the actions are a little bit harder to perform, even though you would expect them to be basics. I suppose with smaller ships, we shouldn't expect all 4 of the kind of Federation standard actions to be on there. So this does give you the option to add that in if you really want to. I'm not a big user of battle stations. I tend to use evade a lot more, and target lock are my 2 kind of standard actions that I use. So I'm not greatly bothered that I haven't got battle stations on here. It wouldn't really affect how my preferred style of play. Moving on from your crew, we have the wonders of the weapons options. So there are 2 weapon options with this one. You get the standard photon torpedoes. Here we go. A little bit of a note on this one. Again, it is 5 attack dice at range 2 to 3, costing you 4 points. Does use the time token feature that was introduced back in wave 17. If 5 from a shuttlecraft, note this one, if 5 from a shuttlecraft, discard this card instead of placing time tokens, and the range is 1 to 2. So this can be used on the Delta Flyer and also you've got the Einstein coming, which is a Type 7 shuttlecraft in wave 21, I think it is. Don't quote me on that. So you'll be able to use this, but you only discard it after one use. So it's quite a powerful card for something on a shuttlecraft. What you've got, if you don't want to sort of hammer away and use that amount of points for something that is going to be a one shot, but it would probably get you out of a bit of a sticky situation. Nice that they've done that extra bit on the shuttlecraft on there. Is photonic missiles. So again, target lock, time tokens. If it hits, in addition to normal damage, you place an auxiliary power token beside the defending ship. So the ship that you're hitting gets normal damage plus an auxiliary power token, which is a nice twist on a smaller ship giving that attack. It is 3, so it's the same as your primary weapon score, but you can fire it from your secondary weapon arc, so your front and your rear arc, sorry. Costs a little bit less, is at range 1 to 2, so you are going to be a little bit closer to fire this one, but you are going to be able to reuse it on these smaller ships, and it does give you that rear firing option. I do like the fact that you've got that auxiliary power token in comparison to the battle stations, and also the critical damage changes that you can do with quantum and photon torpedoes. So it's nice that it does it with a smaller vessel. Finally, the last ones we've got to cover are the Unimatrix shielding. Put that one down. We've got parametallic hull plating and immersion shielding, which are your 3 tech upgrades. So we'll go with the highest, which is this one first because I put it down. Unimatrix shielding adds 2 to your ship's shield value when defending against an attack from a Borg ship. During the compare results step, you can disable up to 2 of your active shields to cancel an equal number of damage or critical damage results. Great that this is an upgrade that works against Borg ships. So your shields are going to be going up from 2 to 4. It doesn't say anywhere on here that you've got to use it on a shuttlecraft. So if you're using it on a Federation ship, you're gonna effectively up your stat. You're gonna up your shields by 2 points, give you that little bit extra advantage. It is a 5-pointer, but I think this is worth it if you are fighting the Borg. If you're not fighting the Borg, I wouldn't really want to use it because it's not going to do anything to help you. Upgrade costs 5 points for any non-Federation ship, and no ship can have more than one, which is kind of not a surprise. Great to see specific upgrades coming out that can fight the Borg and give you actually a better chance of getting away from them, and that they've put it onto the effectively the Voyager ones, which would have been the ships that encountered it in the series. So yeah, nice one to use. 5-pointer, reusable, probably one to keep, and I would certainly say you're going to be needing it on something like this. If you're placing it into a situation against the Borg, I think you'd be slightly mental to do that. Moving down, you've got immersion shielding for 3 points. It adds 1 to your ship's shield value. So you've got the 2 that you've got from the Unimatrix. Then you've got this, which adds 1 to your shields. In addition, you can re-roll the attack die whenever your ship overlaps an obstacle. Very situational. Not sure how many games you're going to be playing with an obstacle in there. So you might want to think about putting this one on if you are looking to add a little bit more value to your shields. Again, you get that feel from the crew cards and from this that it is very much about packing a lot more defense into the ship. As you'll see from the final one as well, it's again a lot about giving you a lot more defense to just give you a little bit more longevity in the game. The upgrade costs 3 SP if you're on a non-Federation ship. And again, you can't have more than one of these on your ship, otherwise you just have an entire ship with about 5 of these on. So yeah, it's a nice one. It's going to be effective against everything rather than just Borg. Could you put both of them on? Yes, but you'd effectively have to remember which one you're using at the time and which ship you're firing against. So nice little card to have. Finally, 2 points, parametallic hull plating. During the compare results, you can discard it to cancel one of the damage or critical damage results. Again, a very defensive piece. It's going to help you in that battle. You think about using these in conjunction with your Harry Kim, your Bilana Torres cards, which are there to boost your defense. So you're going to get a lot of opportunities to kind of wipe out those damage and critical damage scores that you're getting from opposition ships, and increasing that horrible 2 points that you've got on the ship there. So yeah, nice again. Very good that they've been thinking about the defensive options here. As I said, you get the rules for the shuttlecraft again with this one, but the mission is extreme risk, and I've actually, which is the first episode that featured the Delta Flyer, I have actually played this, in which you attempt to retrieve a probe from a planet's atmosphere. There's your planet, there's Federation ships, your enemy ships start there. 80 points per squadron. You get a Delta Flyer and one Federation ship, and then you get 80 points, including one ship with 3 or less and one ship with a hull of 4 or more on the opposition side. And it's a case of the first one to grab hold of that and get it back to its ship. It is a really cool little scenario to do. It is a standard 2-player setup, but just to have that kind of little twist in there of using the shuttlecrafts to get in, or the large ships to get in and get that item out and back to the mothership is a really neat way to play. So yeah, really enjoyed playing that. Quite a quick one to play as well. It was about 6-7 turns just to get through and nail that off. It is a 4-side mission, but definitely well worth playing. So let's just pop our Tom Paris captain's cards onto the Delta Flyer, and we'll just pop back down to show you the ship just to finish off. So there we have it, the first one of our Wave 19 reviews, the Delta Flyer, a nice little shuttlecraft, the first one in retail for the Federation, and certainly something that will enhance your fleet and give you a little bit more tactical edge. Nice use of cards they've got there as well. So yeah, the next one we will be looking at will be the Rotaran, which is the General Martok ship from Deep Space Nine, and that'll be up shortly. Until then, hope you've enjoyed it. If you like the video, please subscribe and drop a like on here for me. If you've not, it's been a pleasure, and I'm sure there are other sites out there for you to look at. Until next time, thanks very much.
Transfer complete.